Okay, back again. Next morning, just gone for a drink of water. It's not a good day unless you make your neighbours angry. Lots of grinding, lots of welding today. Where do I start? So what I've done is I was trying to get this steering geometry locked in, and I mean, as you saw with this stuff that I had, I didn't really have anything to go off, so just trying to ascertain where everything went was a bit difficult. Everything was basically rusted away, so what I've done this morning is I've tried to square off where some of these pedals go, two of them anyway, and the steering bracket, I cut the top out of this and then drilled out the holes that associated with this bracket, and then re-welded the nuts on the inside, and then closed it back off. This top section here I'm going to add a strengthening plate to and then finish that off. That took a fair while just to make sure it was correct. I'm not sure exactly where it went to the frame rail. I don't have any point of reference at all. So I'm just going to go with that. I've got enough clearance for the steering box. That steering box to get in and out. It's 10 centimeters wide and this is 11 centimeters, so I've got enough room. The only thing I went off of was the cable hole that I have here. I'm probably way out, but we'll just wait and see. I don't know exactly where it all goes yet, but I'm just sort of trying to make progress, otherwise I just sit there and stare at it all day long. So yeah, it's starting to look like a front end. As I said, this is just tacked in now. I can easily just move this over. I've got a feeling I'm way too far this way just looking at it now. Just looking at this, the bend on this, I don't know exactly where it goes into the firewall, so I thought this one here was it, and to that, so I just didn't want to have too small a gap that I couldn't get the steering box in and out. I mean, if the steering wheel's over a little bit when I'm sitting, might be an issue, but it might not be that big a deal. But as I said, that's just tacked in now. A lot of fluffing around really. The bushing for this pedal was all gone, rusted away, so I was only left with the bolt. So I cut a big square washer down and actually welded this, cut the square washer down in a half and then welded it to the bolt, and then got the OD of this and then welded another half on the other side, and that's also just tacked in as well. So I've got a bit of movement up or down and always and back and forward. So I figured just for now, tacking it in, I can't really put much more weight on this front end now, because if you remember back to here, this is all just tack welded in, and it's compromised. So the idea is to sort of get it squared up and then try and flip the thing over and then get in there and get all of that done, all of this underside welding as well, and then drop it back down on its axles or straight on the ground. But yeah, just sort of working at it. I haven't got that bit done yet. I didn't think that was that important today. I think getting these pedals, you have a look at this, the thickness, you can't really see it actually, but that thing is like just gone. Like, you can pretty much bend that with your hand now. I'm just trying to get around this way for, look how thin that is. So the angle of the dangle for these pedals could be anywhere really right now. I don't know whether they're correct. That's exactly the same as this one was. They were both exactly this. Probably this one was a little worse than this one, but what I'll do is I'll just throw a bit more steel in there now, just so it doesn't break. And it was bent all the way over to here, so obviously it's not very strong. Look, I can bend it with my hand now. Yeah, I'll just give it some weld. As I said, this is pointless even trying to undo this now. I'm just going to weld this up solid once I get it right. Once I sit in the truck finally and just feel it with my feet, I'll probably just if it's all right, if it's acceptable, I'll just leave it. If it's too bad, I'll just give it a slice somewhere, probably up here where the metal's better. Slice and then just move it where it needs to be, or this way or that way, or pretty much wherever the pedal head needs to go, I can do that. I don't know exactly where the guides were, the stopping plates would have been for this. So that's another thing I'm just going to leave for now. I don't know how much play will be in this pedal, how much is supposed to be there for the workings of the cable. So that's just another thing I'm going to have to leave for now. But getting this in was quite a good thing. You know, I had to punch 3 holes on the top and then 2 on the bottom. They all had to be exact because this is quite a integral part of the car. So I'm going to box this in here too. So this is well, I'll probably just box it in the front just to strengthen it up, and probably box it in across here as well. Maybe run it out a little further, because this is the floor level here. So if I had a plate across there and down, I know the accelerator cable comes out somewhere. I'm not too sure where it all comes out. Yeah, I don't know about that one just yet. So, but yeah, strengthening this up, even just some gusseting down there might be good, but I'd like to have another level up here. I've got a little off cut. I've got a little off cut of this stuff, so I'd like to get that level squared off and then nice and strong across there, because that's where sort of you'll be getting in and out of the vehicle. And I like the idea of having a lot of strength there, taking the weight, not bowing the floor, compromising any of the welds or the seams that'll be painted and sealed. So yeah, that's on the to-do list. So as I said, these are all just mock-ups. This is movable. to an extent. I mean, it's just tacked in, so I can move it. These I've sort of final welded because I was just getting at it. The plate in here for the steering box is as secure as it's ever going to be. It's quite strong in there now, so that's not going to move, but the movement forward and back, side to side, even up and down can be adjusted now. I've got you know, 40 mils of play up that I can go. I can even lift this steering box for my knees, so that's sort of why I did it on this bottom plate like this, just to give me that the lift for the steering wheel up higher, because I'm 6'4", 6'5", so 195 centimeters, so any little bit of help is good. I've been toying around with the idea of doming the roof as well, because I haven't got a roof for this vehicle, so I was thinking of actually creating more of a, like giving it another 2 inches higher around the whole vehicle and then doming it up so I get even more headroom. So that'll be above the door frame, so where the top of the actual panels are, there's the gutter, and that's all rusted out, so I'll be cutting that out and boxing it in. So if I put in a box that's higher and ran it around, you know, and curved it, then I could lift the roof up without making it look too different, because the actual final shape, it won't sort of, your eye won't catch it as quick. If you domed the roof like an egg, then you definitely would notice. But just lifting the panel length up slightly, just a little bit, I don't think it would be that noticeable. But for me, it'd make a lot of difference. So that's something I'm thinking of as well. So yeah, a lot of buggerizing around, a lot of measuring and just double checking and making sure things are square. Yeah, I could almost run that strengthener right onto the side of this to strengthen this up as well, and probably run one over to the other side right up the top. That would really just lock all this front end right in. The one underneath, the one above, the one forward, and then that'll be attached to here through to the back. And yeah, above. So yep, onwards and upwards. Next thing to do is steering, bump bar bracket bolt holes. So they're roughly in this area here. You can see them there. So they're roughly in this area. I'll try and work towards getting that done. I haven't got any nuts and bolts because they're all rusted away, so I might find something that's usable and go down to my local hardware and get a heap of that stuff, just so I can start welding them back in. I need to get these as well. These are all gone, so the thread inside is all gone, so I need to cut something out of there and get all of those and then just have them sitting in a bag ready for the moment I need them. Yeah, it's not looking so rough now. I mean, obviously it's pretty rough. What a mess. But yeah, onwards and upwards. I can't think of anything else right now. Yeah, okay, I'll bring you back.